আসসালামু আলাইকুম viewers. আপনারা তো সবাই জানেন যে আমি একজন হিউম্যান রাইটস অ্যাক্টিভিস্ট এবং ওয়ার্ল্ড আমি অলরেডি ইউনাইটেড নেশনসে কলম্বিয়া ইউনিভার্সিটিতে হার্ভার্ড ইউনিভার্সিটিতে অলরেডি আমি স্পিচ দিয়েছিলাম অ্যাবাউট চাইল্ড অ্যাবিউজ জেন্ডার ডিসক্রিমিনেশন অ্যান্ড ডোমেস্টিক ভায়োলেন্স এবং ওয়ার্ল্ডের যেখানেই poor children বা deprived people থাকুক না কেন I try to raise my voice and I really care about them. For example, যেখানে ওয়ার্ল্ডের যেখানে রেফিউজি পিপল থাকুক না কেন, ফর এক্সাম্পল ইন সুদান, প্যালেস্টাইন, কঙ্গো, কাশ্মীর, যেখানে এরকম রেফিউজি পিপল থাকুক না কেন, I try to aware to the people about how their human rights are being violated. And today, আমার সাথে we'll talk about Rohingya refugee people and how their human rights are being violated. Dear viewers, যখনই আমরা রোহিঙ্গা নামটা শুনি তখনই most of the time back in the mind আমাদের মনে হয় যে probably some deprived people or some poor children, maybe সে barefooted, তার কোনো access to internet, access to education বা food নাই বা access to health care নাই, something like that. এবং sometimes আমার even মনে হয় যে some middle-aged woman who has a lot of children কিন্তু তার husband নাই. So most of the time deprived people and underprivileged people back in the mind আমাদের মনে হয় when we hear the word Rohingya. কিন্তু রোহিঙ্গা মানেই কিন্তু এটা না। আমাদের ভাষায় অনেক ইসলামিক ইংলিশ ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে অনেক ইসলামিক বই আছে এবং সেগুলো আমরা মালয়েশিয়া থেকে এবং সৌদি আরব থেকে কিনেছি এবং সেই পাবলিশারটা কিন্তু আসলে ছিল একজন রোহিঙ্গা। So dear viewers, as you just heard that Rohingya doesn't always mean poor people and underprivileged people and unsuccessful people. এই পাবলিশারটা কিন্তু সাকসেসফুল হয়েছিল, but he was also Rohingya. So most of the time international channel for example in Al Jazeera or in BBC, CNN যখনই রোহিঙ্গাদেরকে ইন্টারভিউ করা হয় তখনই underprivileged and deprived রোহিঙ্গাকে ইন্টারভিউ করা হয়. But today আমরা কথা বলবো with a successful Rohingya person and his name is Mr. Abdu Shukkur. He is currently studying in the Yıldırım Beyazıt University in Turkey এবং তার থিসিসের বিষয় হচ্ছে Human Rights Violation and Failure of the Democratic Transition in Myanmar. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Abdu Shukkur. How are you?
I am fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for being here. I am really proud of you. In the young age, you raised the voice for Rohingya to the UN conference recently. May Almighty Allah better reward you here and resurrection. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. আজ করে আনা রোহিঙ্গা যুদ্ধম ভাই বোনান দেশের বাইরে বুতরা আছে ওনারা বেকলে মোর একখান হচ্ছে সমুদ্র আনার বোন জীবন নাম ফাতিয়া এবা আমেরিকা মাদে নিউ ইয়র্ক মাদে থাকে বেশি অল্প বয়স মাদে বেশি ষোলো বয়স মাদে 8 বছর তারা এবে কমার্কের মসকল করে এবে ফার্স্ট টাইম ছোট বুতরে আনারাল্লাহ বলি রোহিঙ্গাল্লাহ বলি ইউএন কনফারেন্স মাদে এবার আবাস তুললে দে এন গমাইয়া পোয়া আর তো ফতিয়া জনতো এন্ডিলা পয়েন্ট সুন্দর এন্ডিলা বাননসা ইয়ান্দা বেশি বেশি ইম্পর্টেন্ট থ্যাংক ইউ ফাতিয়া জাস্ট আই ইন্ট্রোডিউস ইন আওয়ার ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ টু আওয়ার পিপল.
Dear viewers, before we even start the questions, I would like to tell you that I will question him in English and he will also answer in English because he's most comfortable with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. My first question is, we know that persecution of Muslims in Myanmar is not something new. We know that Mr. Nu has served as Prime Minister of Myanmar in 3 tenures from 1948 to 1962, who was friendly towards Muslims. So since when Muslims started to face oppression and subjugation in Myanmar and why?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. So, yeah, this is very interesting. Okay, let me answer to your question. First, UNU, also some people call his name Thakin Nu, who was a former Prime Minister of Burma from 1948 to 1962. He is not a Muslim, but a Buddhist nationalist. He tried to make Buddhism as a state religion, but he fell on his way. I believe that nationalist and anti-Muslim idea was rooted among the 30 comrades of Burma. The 30 comrades titled themselves as Thakin Group. In 1942, Rohingya massacre was backed by Thakin Group of Arakan. As a result, more than 40,000 Rohingya were killed by the Rakhine Buddhist people and the member of Takin group. Yeah, thank you so much.
So okay, dear viewers, তিনি বলতে যাচ্ছেন যে 1942 তে থাকিন গ্রুপের মেম্বার এবং আরো কয়েকজন 40,000 রোহিঙ্গাকে কিল করেছে। Okay, my second question is, we know that in 1982, the government introduced regulations and denied citizenship to anyone who could not prove Burmese ancestry from before 1823. And this disqualified many Muslims in Myanmar, even though they had lived in Myanmar for several generations. So since 1982, what actions did educated Muslims of Myanmar take to draw the notices of outer world toward what is happening there in Myanmar with these marginalization?
Well, when I read the article in the citizenship law of 1982, I noticed that the law was enacted to target especially Muslims of Burma, including Rohingya. Since then, I was very curious about that law, which was done under the leadership of U Niwin. According to 1982 citizenship law, Burmese government don't recognize us, the Rohingya, as one of the 135 national races of Burma and made much of the Rohingya population in Burma stateless in their historical homeland of Arakan. Even the Rohingya were mentioned in earlier record of history in Burma. For that reason, the infliction of the Rohingya condition of life designed to bring about serious bodily and mental harm and to destroy the whole Rohingya. As such, illegalization of the Rohingya in Myanmar is an indication of the intent of the state to both remove the Rohingya permanently from their homeland and to destroy the whole Rohingya as a group. Moreover, they declare that Rohingya are Bengali, they came from Bangladesh, and many of the educated Muslims of Myanmar had been deported to foreign countries by accusing false allegations, as well as some of them put under the sentence. Thus, the Rohingya are everywhere around the world in this modern era.
Sorry. Okay, thank you. But my question was that since 1982, what actions did the educated Muslims of Myanmar take to draw the notices of outer world about what is happening there in Myanmar?
Yeah, they don't like the educated people of the Rohingya people. For that reason, they are accusing several different type of illegal accusation and false accusation. For that reason, they want to deport it to other country. They don't and other people, the educated people, they put under the sentence in the jail, and most of them killed. This one is their plan. They don't like our educated person.
Okay, so dear viewers, তিনি বলতে যাচ্ছেন যে the Myanmar government or the attacking group, they killed the Rohingya people, and sometimes they also put them in jail, and sometimes they even fled them into other countries and like destroyed their homes.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
Okay. So we know that the United Nations have reported that the Rohingyas are one of the most persecuted groups in the world. In many operations, Myanmar security forces have driven the Rohingya off their land, burned down their mosques, and committed widespread looting and arson of Rohingya Muslims. So what is your personal experience regarding this that you have witnessed?
Yeah. As I have earlier mentioned that the Rohingya have been persecuted systematically, many of us, since many decades. I'm one of the witnesses of violence against the persecuted Rohingya Muslim in Arakan state of Myanmar in 2012, 2016, and 2017. That I couldn't forget the tragedy of Myanmar's government, yet as I myself was a part of it. And I interviewed some of the Rohingya people in Saitui, Mondo, and Busidam regarding the violence, as well as I was interviewed by the producer Phil Rees of Al Jazeera for the film of the hidden genocide. Now the same thing I am explaining you that the military did a horrible atrocity against the Rohingyas, such as the girls were killed after raping, children were thrown to the fire, villages were burned down, including a school, madrasa, mosques, men were slaughtered and looting our properties. As a result, many women lost their husband and children, as well as many husbands lost their wife, children, and the other family member, as well as many children become orphan. Moreover, hundreds, thousands of people were burned into their home during the military were starting arson. For example, in our village, the whole family died to arson because they didn't aware of military came to their home. When they start arson and shooting bullets, people were running one place to another place, crossing river, cliff, sea, and people were hiding into the jungle due to our people effort of the Myanmar's brutal military. In conclude, I have met some of the people and children who couldn't sleep at night for the feeling of traumatized. Even me, when I recall it, I do still nightmare and feeling psychological disorder because I saw many dead bodies, including infant and pregnant women, while I was crossing the forest and road and crossing the river.
Okay, thank you for your answer. We also know that alongside of these military raids, Rohingya are subjected to frequent theft and extortion from the authorities, and many are subjected into forced labor. So in some cases, land occupied by Rohingya Muslims has been confiscated and relocated to local Buddhists. Have you or any people that you know come across these kinds of tyranny?
Well, I asked a question about land confiscation from the local Rohingya national in parliament. They said that no land was confiscated from anyone and government was returning land to the local national Buddhist record, who are original owner of land. They
Dear viewers, because of some internet connection, we can't hear him. Let's see if he can hear us and like if his internet is back. Mr. Abdu Shukkur, can you hear us? Hello? Okay, so dear viewers, we're having some internet connection. Let's wait one more minute and see if he can hear us. Yeah, let's take him back. Hello? Oh, he left. Okay, dear viewers, maybe he'll rejoin. No, okay. Okay, we're clearly having some internet connection problem. Let's see if he can come. He's probably not coming back. Let's see. He'll join again. Okay, so dear viewers, he's probably not coming back. So if he comes back, then let's see if we can continue. Yeah, he's probably not coming back. No, he's not coming back. Okay, I think he's trying to join. The internet connection in their Turkey might be a little like wonky, so he's probably not coming back, or he's trying to join at least. Okay, so dear viewers, anyways, as I said in my introduction, that in the United Nations and in other places, I talked about the refugee people and about these poor people and the deprived people. And today, and like in any international channel, I didn't see any I didn't see any successful people getting interviewed if they're Rohingya. I only saw that deprived and underprivileged Rohingya people were interviewed. But today, I tried to interview him. Yeah, I think he came back. Yeah, Mr. Abdu, Shukkur, assalamu alaikum. Your internet connection was a little wonky. Yeah.
What happened? I don't know. Is there anything wrong? Maybe my net or what?
Yeah. So, okay, I'll ask you the question again, and then you can answer maybe. Okay. We also know that alongside of these military raids, Rohingyas are subjected to frequent theft and extortion from the authorities, and many are subjected to forced labor. In some cases, land occupied by Rohingya Muslims has been confiscated and relocated to local Buddhists. Have you or any people that you know come across these kinds of tyranny?
Well, I asked a question about the land confiscated from local Rohingya national in parliament. They said that no land was confiscated from anyone and government was returning the land to the local nationalist Buddhists who are original owner of the land. The core reason Home Minister was all the land are belonging to national. It means that the Rohingya can't belong land in Arkan. The government used many of us forced labor without paying any wages, especially the border guard, police, BGP, and military to carry on their work such as weed, clean, wash, carry heavy load to far place. Our people had to get the station at 8 o'clock in the morning and until 6 o'clock in the evening. The police used sometimes mercilessly beat anyone who reports to work late, which is a symbol of genocide like lack of freedom, peace of mind, and comfort. In 2005, when I was in grade 10, at that time, while I was on my way going to the school, I bumped into the Myanmar brutal military by the roadside. They called me and said that carry this luggage and come with us. The luggage was too big for me to carry it, but I hadn't any option despite I have my own backpack on my shoulder. They are still doing the same thing against the Rohingya people. There are nothing changes yet. Thank you, Faatiha.
Okay, thank you. The Rohingya people have been denied. The Rohingya people have been denied Burmese citizenship since the enactment of Burmese nationality law, which is 1982 Citizenship Act. The government of Myanmar claims that the Rohingya are illegal immigrants who arrived during the British colonial era and were originally Bengali, just like you said. The Rohingya that are allowed to stay in Myanmar are considered resident foreigners and not citizens. So what is your reaction to the opinion of the Myanmar government?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it's not true that the Rohingya, they are since late 9th century. They come from Bangladesh, but most of the Rohingya people came to Bangladesh from our own country, Myanmar, due to the persecution of Myanmar government. The government of Myanmar are denying our identity and the citizenship blindly as their internal policy. According to historical fact that the Rohingya were in Arkan estate before Burmese occupied Arkan. The government of Myanmar has pre-planned to make such kind of thing like cleansing on the Rohingya people because in the Arkan state, the Rohingya had their own kingdom in rule from 1429 to 1785. For that reason,
Mr. Abdu Shukkur, I think that the internet connection is getting worse now. Yeah, he's loading.
Okay. The China and India, for that reason, they wanted the land to the Rohingya people. After deported the Rohingya people from our own land to the Bangladesh and the other country, they are using it. This is the plan of Myanmar government for their own personal interests. Yeah.
Yeah. So, dear viewers, তিনি বলতে চেয়েছেন যে the Myanmar government states that the Rohingyas were actually from Bangladesh and they fled into the Myanmar. But then he said that sure, some of them were from Bangladesh, but most of them fled to Bangladesh from Myanmar, their own country, and the Myanmar government doesn't want to accept that. Okay, thank you. We know that many Rohingya children cannot have their birth registered, thus rendering them stateless from the moment that they are born. In 1995, the government of Myanmar responded to UNHRC's pressure by issuing basic identification cards, which does not mention the bearer's place of birth. So my question to you is, what are the particular problems that they face for having no proper identification and documents?
Yeah, well, this is a question. Denial of issuance of birth certificate to the children is a symbol of genocide and creating problem in own country. Issuance of temporary ID card or white card was a cheating of Myanmar government to wipe out Rohingya from their ancestral land. I was born in 1992 under the citizenship law of 1982, and my whole family had been denied to offer national registration card or birth certificate and citizenship due to the Rohingya. But still, some card of a parent of my father were mentioned that the term Rohingya in the card. But nowadays, being a Rohingya is a big conflict in Myanmar because after 1982, they changed the pink card with white card. Instead of providing citizenship, the white card means that the Rohingya are foreigner and written Bengali on the side of the card. Now they are providing NBC, which is called National Verification Card, which is we known as a genocidal card. They keep telling us that we came from Bangladesh. Rohingya are Bangladeshi people. That's why they keep denying to provide our card. Simultaneously, they wanted to prove us as a foreigner by stopping our national registration card and citizenship as well as other documents. This is their agreed plan.
Yeah, but thank you for your answer. But my question was that what is the problem that the people face without having their place of birth written down?
Yeah, their main problem is like this. If they can prove we are foreigner, we are not our own country, they shouldn't face any problem. This is the main problem. For that reason, they didn't provide us any our birth certificate, any document, because they want to remove us, they want to eliminate us from our own country. According to their secret law, they are not ruling the country according to the law.
Okay, so dear viewers, তিনি বলতে চেয়েছেন যে the Myanmar government, they didn't write down the place of birth on the bearer's identification card because তারা চেয়েছেন যে the Rohingya people go away from Myanmar. Okay. Myanmar was one of the 48 countries that voted for the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations General Assembly in 1948. Article 2 of which states that everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without a distinction of any kind, such as race, color, language, religion, and etc. Apart from this, a number of international treaties have been ratified by Myanmar, namely the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, Convention on the Rights of the Child, International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. So my question is, how come in the present global politics it became possible for Myanmar to act against all the principles and policies that they have agreed upon?
Yeah, this is a good question. Yeah, Myanmar's government isn't ruling the country with law, as I said to you before, but they are ruling with internal policy. Myanmar didn't enact any law, although it signed Universal Human Rights Declaration and Genocide Convention. It means that Myanmar never want to give equal right to the ethnic minorities, especially Muslim, including Rohingya people in Aayat'r state. As a result of its Myanmar is facing genocidal case at International Criminal Court of Justice. Although the military ruled the country after involvement of Aung San Suu Kyi from the National League for Democratic Party, that the international community and we, the Rohingya people, have hope she will do something better for us and other minorities. But unfortunately, she did zero. She did nothing for the minorities people. She is always trying to cover the genocidal paramilitary in order to keep on her position forever. Recently, recently, every member of organization was invited by the NCA National Ceasefire Agreement, except the Rohingya members because they don't care the case of the Rohingya. However, I personally believe that if she tried genuinely to bring peace and tranquility to solve the minorities issue, including Rohingya crisis. She can solve it very easily by the supporting of international community. But she is lying to international community by using the term of democracy like Myanmar is going democratic transition. Even she didn't agree to give back our citizenship right, equal right, educational right, basic right, registration to movement. Even one person can't go to another village without the recommendation letter of the immigration because of the racism problem. On the other hand, you know what? Where are many natural resources, there are conflict always because of the military wouldn't want to lose their authoritarian system according to Middle East political theories. In this political landscape, if we say the international community should better to keep pressure on the region of Myanmar and the sanction on military's business, but the Myanmar government is not caring to any international community because of China, Russia, and India. So let's come to point out your question. Myanmar government wouldn't agree to the decision of international community despite they have to war against of the international community. You know what? Myanmar is trying to cough again now the country, the region, as the military didn't get the sufficiently ballot vote.
Mr. Shukkur. Yeah, I believe the internet connection will be better in time. Mr. Abdu Shukkur, we cannot hear you. Okay, he's loading. Yeah, okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, okay. So I'll continue. Yeah, please.
You didn't hear my question?
No, I heard your answer, but then in the towards the end, it froze.
Okay. Okay, let me talk the last sentence, okay?
Yeah.
So I mean that so Myanmar government wouldn't agree to the decision of international community despite they have to war against of the international community. You know what? The Myanmar is trying to cope now again the region as the Myanmar military didn't get the sufficiently ballot in the recent election. For that reason, they want to cope again. They want to control every government state, everything, the power. You got my point, right?
Yeah. Dear viewers, I'm sure that all of us understood about what he tried to say. Okay. Thank you for your answer. My next question is that why the Muslim leaders, organizations like OIC, Arab League, Muslim World League are silent? Why Imran Khan, Ayatollah Khamenei, Mahathir Mohamad are not raising this issue? Presently, you live in Turkey, so why do you think that Mr. Erdogan is not serious about this matter?
Yeah, actually, OIC has its own agenda. Yes. Generally speaking, OIC countries are also not popular in respecting human rights. Especially Saudi Arabia tried so many ways to convince Myanmar to accept 350,000 Rohingya who have been living in Saudi Arabia for decades. Myanmar government never agreed for it. Probably this is why Saudi Arabia and OIC and including other Muslim countries decided to pressure on Myanmar by opening a case at ICJ with the help of Gambia. In addition, Turkey, Malaysia, and Pakistan all are the members of OIC. As well, Turkey and Bangladesh are properly trying to handle the Rohingya crisis. Moreover, the First Lady Emily Erdogan, who is the wife of the current president, first went to Myanmar in 2012 crisis. She went to Saitwe and other place where the Muslim and drew international attention to the persecution of the Rohingya. She had pioneered ad campaign for the Muslim minority people, and also she went to the refugee camp of Bangladesh to meet with the Rohingya people in order to reassure them in 2017, including with the foreign minister Mablu Çavuşoğlu. The president of Turkey is only the one who is always raising the voice for Rohingya around the world. May Almighty Allah better reward him here and after resurrection. He is doing very nice work.
Yeah. Recently, thank you for your answer. Recently, we have seen some sort of advancements from International Court of Justice and also from International Criminal Court. So, according to you, what are the implications of these cases on Rohingya?
This is a very critical question. As you know, our people are suffering the last stage of genocide after the last exodus in 2017 on August. That's why the International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court involves on Rohingya crisis. But it will take time to find out the solution due to Myanmar government and military are keep on denying the charges, although they have a great pressure, political complication, and instability internally. Anyway, we are very sure that ICJ and ICC and other international community can handle the problem, the global Rohingya issue sooner or later. You may know that now the president of America, Joe Biden, is also stepping to solve the Rohingya crisis and the other Muslim across the world. Inshallah, I hope that it will be solved, but it will take time.
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah. It will be solved, inshallah, but I agree with you. It can take some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. In August 2018, the United Nations recognized Rohingya persecution as genocide and ethnic cleansing and called for arrest and prosecution of Myanmar's top generals responsible for crimes against humanity. It also concluded that government of Aung San Suu Kyi is covering up crimes against Rohingya and failed to offer them protection, just like you said before. So what do you want to say about the role of the UN and also about Ms. Aung San Suu Kyi? Yeah.
Yeah, are you hearing me, Faatiha?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, you just froze. Inshallah, that international internet connection will come back. Mr. Abdu Shukkur, can you hear me? You're frozen. Hello? Yeah, probably he'll come back. Probably. Okay, he's loading.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry for the internet is very weak. I don't know. Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the United Nations hasn't officially called for arrest and prosecution of top general, but UN human rights reporter and FFM call for that. United Nations organization hasn't called officially yet, but United Nations Security Council is the highest body of the UN.
Mm-hmm.
But UN hasn't reached to clear and confirm resolution, but it's still informal. The vital obstacle for UN Security Council, for the vital obstacle for UN Security Council are China and Russia. So you know what? The UN is not deeply involved to fix the Rohingya issue because of the charter. The main focus is rising budget by showing the crisis. Where are the more crises, there are the more benefit for the UN. We have to aware about that. Miss Aung San Suu Kyi is also something like that. She is a great international liar. She is one of the rhetorical politician in Myanmar history and our Rohingya history forever. And she is a very robustness in her lip service. Just she is talking. Therefore, we couldn't deem her anymore as she is not like as her father. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. My last question to you is about Bangladesh. I am sure that you will agree that Bangladesh has become the most kind and generous in this regard. We have seen that Malaysia, Indonesia, and even Brunei have denied to provide shelter to Rohingyas. We have also seen that India and China has gone against the Rohingya and they talked in the voice of the Myanmar government. So, on behalf of the Rohingya people, do you want to thank the people of Bangladesh?
Oh, well, this is the great point. Yeah, definitely. Why not? We need to thank not only the Bangladeshi people, but also the government, despite recently the Bashangir issue. Genuinely, I am very pleased to thank all of the Bangladeshi brother and sister, including the government, not just because of the welcoming to the Rohingya people, but because they fulfill everything, every needs of Rohingya people in Bangladesh, such as welcoming, accompanying, supporting, and providing shelter, food, land, loving, caring, as well as something too much as well, protecting like own countries like people. Especially thanks to the foreign minister Abdu, who is the one only fighting for the repatriation process of the Rohingya. May Allah Almighty, may Almighty Allah better reward him both here and restoration. He is doing excellent work for the Rohingya people. How we can deny it? How we can forget it? We have to thanks to the government and the people of Bangladesh.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for coming, Mr. Abdu Shukkur, and it was my pleasure, and I'm really glad that you were able to come to my show. If you would like to say anything at the end for the viewers, please go. Please say so.
Yeah, thank you so much, Faatiha, for your valuable time, and thank you so much for the viewer. We have to pray for our young sister. She is doing much more thing for the community, for the people. Inshallah, we have to support. Also, we have to. I would like to request to everyone. We have to make our children such kind of this kind of. I mean, like Faatiha. She is doing very excellent.
Thank you.
You are the best, Faatiha. I am praying for you. Inshallah, you will be success in your future life.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, have a nice day.
Yeah. Okay, then to dear viewers, as you just saw, this was the end of our live show, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you, and assalamu alaikum.